Yeah. Oh my God.
So we wanted to come on here and we wanted to break down IGN's top 25 wrestlers of all time. Do you want to do the 25 or do you want to do just the top 10? We can do the 25.
I don't know.
This is a hellacious list. And
Let's just get this out of the way. The 25 are just bad in general.
yeah. Like IGN is notoriously known for not knowing anything. And this is no different. Like the I don't even know what to say.
All right. Yeah, let's just do the top 10.
All right. And I just want to like say that like 25 is Roddy Piper. I wouldn't even know where to like put these guys. So like 25 Roddy Piper, maybe. 24 AJ Styles feels like a bit of a leap. Um, 23 Bryan Danielson
I'm okay with in that range, but Cody Rhodes
at 22.
at 22.
It's a bit
Mm,
it's a bit high. Andre the Giant at 19. Oh fuck, you're gonna love this one. Roman Reigns at 18.
yeah. Yeah.
Edge at 17. Wow.
Mick Foley.
At 16. Chris Jericho at 15. Randy Orton at 14. Eddie Guerrero at 13. Randy Savage at 12. Kurt Angle at 11. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
So this is where it gets
yeah. Let's do the top 10. Um so number 10 is Hulk Hogan. And if you're like looking at it of like biggest, draws.
box office business. You have to put him in the top 10.
Yeah, he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you have to even put him like you can put him top 5. It depends on what you like out of wrestling.
I mean, I would probably he's definitely in the top 10.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's not a debate.
even though he sucks.
As a person, as a wrestler.
Yeah, but
I want to go back to I know there's a lot of stupid finishing moves, but his finishing move is a leg drop.
yeah, but that was like different back
So
then.
I still don't care. He held the title for 4 years with a leg drop.
It's a devastating leg drop.
All jokes aside,
who's doing the leg drop anymore?
exactly.
I think some wrestlers should look into that whenever they're coming up with their finishers and try to, we got the boom drop, Kofi's boom drop. I don't know.
Well, let's just say this. Hulk Hogan deserves to be in the top 10. I'm kind of okay with putting him at 10 because I like other people.
Yeah. Yeah,
but you do have to give him the due.
Yeah, he should be in this list 100%. But do you know what I'm not okay with? The very next pick at number 9, Sting. Over Hulk Hogan.
So,
what the fuck are we talking about? That one doesn't even make sense at all. Sting, having just retired from the game at age 65 after a few death-defying years in AAW as Darby Allin's cool goth uncle, the icon Sting is one of the few guys on the list who wasn't a WWE guy. Not that he didn't have a later in life WWE run, complete with a marquee Mania match, but it wasn't all that great, and it easily takes a big fat backseat to his work in WCW, TNA, and AEW. Many of the wrestlers on this list are here because they managed to make themselves relevant for decades, and Sting's one of the few who is able to radically shift his gimmick.
So my thing is I think Sting is a top 20 of all time.
Yeah, but not top 10.
Not top 10.
And I just want to say, Matt Fowler, hellacious list, my friend.
Yeah, I want to let you know, how long have you been watching? What is your credentials?
You don't know ball.
You
Uh,
don't know ball.
I mean that this is crazy. So like Sting, obviously like the guy in WCW,
Mhm.
like his stuff in TNA.
His stuff in TNA was very good. You didn't
Yeah.
watch TNA as much as I did. Um,
Are we talking the Joker Sting or
no, we're talking like I watched TNA when it was like when he first got in, like 2005. Like
yeah.
I was young watching that shit, and he had like the main event Mafia, the beginning matches when he started getting back in with AJ Styles, Kurt Angle. Um, I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
It The thing is like the payoffs I felt with Sting. The build was always great. The payoffs were never there. Like
No.
I think like the whole NWO thing, like he ended up like losing in a weird way with the title, or I mean, winning in a weird way with the title because of Hogan. Um, he's a great wrestler, like one of the greats, like in that era. I just think it's hard to put him at like 9 when you have other guys that are in that 10 to 20 spot on this list that I think should be in that top 10.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
It's fine because he's a top 20. It's not like it's outrageous, if that makes sense.
It's
You
it's
could
it's
you
very
could
outrageous for the top 10.
I
There's
would
so
say
many guys. Like Chris Jericho probably belongs
no,
in.
that's what I'm saying. I think Jericho's the one that would be in the top 10.
I mean, like I can think of a top 10 list off the top of my head right now, and Sting's not in it.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Now the next guy actually falls in line to where I am kind of at with him in my list. He's usually 8 through 11 on my list.
Triple H.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's top 10. For
Yeah, it's sometimes he jumps in and out from like when I start thinking about stuff, but he is there like in that latter end of a top 10.
I think it's mostly just because like he wasn't like a superstar. Well, that superstar draw. Like
Yeah, he was a great heel. He like obviously had DX, had
and
Evolution.
and Triple H is a star. Before I get fucking clipped and clowned for that,
Yeah,
Triple H
yeah.
is a star. I just meant like as far as like box office.
And also like I'm this guy is also like putting in that like it was his work in NXT. We're not looking at this is you're literally titled it wrestlers.
Yeah,
We're not talking about the background
yeah. I'm
of
I'm I'm basing this off of box office draw,
yeah,
superstardom, wrestling capabilities. Obviously, Triple H like
he
underrated in the ring. To be honest,
yeah, he is. And I would say top 5. Give me a second. Um
are we serious right now? Are we fucking kidding me?
crazy. Crazy. I know.
Wait,
It
do
was
you
it
want me
was
to talk
Pam.
to?
It
You
was
want me to
Pam.
talk? You want me to talk to her?
I don't think she's in a mood. She's in a mood.
I'm in a fucking mood now.
Okay.
Okay.
My thing is getting back to the point is I think if you think of like if you're doing a top 5 wrestler or top 10 wrestling minds, he's up there. Paul Heyman's 1. No one talk. Paul
Yeah.
Heyman's 1. But when we're talking about this, it's like that. I'm not even thinking about that.
No.
Like just purely his wrestling career. It sucks. He had his heart stuff that he couldn't really end it how he wanted to, but obviously he's doing what he wants.
Yeah. And I mean, the heart stuff, I don't think it bothers him as much as,
No, I actually think it's. I've heard like someone say in an interview that was like, because it is hard for wrestlers when they don't really like have anything to push them away. Like Taker said, like he's like, yeah, I'm hurt, but like I'm still able to compete. Like I think Triple H said in something, he was like, I'm not able to compete. So like in my mind, it's just closed.
Yeah.
So
I think I've heard him say. I've heard him say something along the lines of like it doesn't really. He was
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
He was,
he's like, oh, you know, okay with it.
was
That
his
makes sense.
last one the Batista match
It might have been, and that's a great match to end on.
in 35?
Could have been.
I think it was. I don't think he wrestled after that. He didn't wrestle at 36. That was the COVID one. Was it? 30 no, 36 was
His last match took place in an untelevised card on June 29th, 2019. It looks like, oh, never mind. It was against Randy Orton at Super Showdown.
that was his last match.
I love Saudi Arabia
I do remember that actually.
I barely do.
I don't remember the match, but I remember that was a thing.
Now, can we get on to 7?
John Cena at 7. I don't even.
A joke.
This is gonna become more hellacious once I read. I don't know who number 6 is, but this is gonna be
6?
quickly agitating once I continue to scroll at who number 6 is. I can guarantee it. Let me start off this. If John Cena is not in your top 5, no matter who you are, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Like there's no.
And my thing is like, again, you could say, like, again, we're talking about all around. Okay, we're not talking about just pure wrestler. He can wrestle. I don't care what people say. He can wrestle. We're talking about entertainer, top entertainer, one of the best on the mic, and carried a company through a PG era.
He's as far as like WWE superstar.
It's him.
He is that. He literally invented that fucking name. He is the WWE guy. Who's done more for WWE?
Probably the top merch seller of all time, too.
I think he is.
I mean, think about how many times when you were just like watching him, I'm like, dude, that shirt's sick as fuck. Every time he dropped a new color, you're like, gotta get it. Gotta get it.
I only ever had the green one.
Oh, dude, I had black, green and yellow, red, blue and white, the original orange one, the purple and yellow. Dude, I had all. The only one I wanted so bad that I never got was that pink one that he originally came out with.
Oh, they're in the Danielson thing.
Oh my god, it was so sick. I just remember like my parents would literally like, "What do you want? Like, do you want anything?" No, I don't want anything. John Cena drop a new shirt? Yeah, let's go get that.
Yeah,
every time.
His 2016 like black one was pretty sick.
Yeah, and I will say this. Let's forget. Okay, let's start off at the beginning. Ruthless Aggression, when he became the Doctor of Thugonomics. I look back on clips from then, hilarious. Okay, draw. Then he starts getting in. Let's go. I say Super Cena from like 06 to like 2014. Okay, so that's just self-explanatory. Okay, but we always talk about this. His United States Championship run.
It's the greatest United States
Championship run of all time. He put over Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I mean, all these guys that literally were
Cesaro,
everyone. I mean, you remember when we went to that Battleground pay-per-view and he had that match with Kevin Owens?
Yeah. Banger. You know what's crazy? Every one of those United States Championship matches were bangers.
Dude, he did a Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah. because dude can wrestle. The
It's unreal.
allegations that he can't wrestle died in
It's
2015.
unreal.
It's crazy. Like, yeah, he's not Shawn Michaels, but
No,
dude can
no
wrestle with
one's Shawn
anybody.
Michaels.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to 6.
So
Ric Flair at 6. Okay.
top 10,
Yeah.
and depending on how you justify it, I can see a top 5.
There's like there is a world where you can say like, oh, Ric Flair above Cena, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't live in that world. So, but like
Again, I think it comes with us. It's the era. But I also think, like, looking back and watching Ric Flair's stuff, such an entertainer, fucking workhorse. I mean, deserves to be up there, deserves to have all these championship reigns. The big thing with me is I think you can throw in, like, you know, all the 80s. He dominated the 80s. The 90s were weird because he has even talked about it. Like, WCW didn't use him great.
yeah,
And then in 2000s, he was just older.
but he was still good.
Yeah. The thing is like, the amount of stuff he's done, you have to put him in top 10,
Yeah.
can be top 5. But my thing is the guys that I have in the top 5 have done something so, like, they're hard to. He usually falls in with me at 5 or 6.
He's
So,
he's probably top 5 technical wrestlers.
oh yeah, but
Yeah.
but I'm actually fine with 6 because I personally flop him around at 5 or 6
I'm cool with it.
because there's one guy that we will get to that I have a feeling is in this top 5 that I have a very, I don't know if it's a hot take because I'll explain it, but being in the top 5 pisses me off a little bit.
Let's go to 5.
Okay, so I have a feeling
Bret
we're going to be
Hart.
missing some people. One of the best wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, no, yeah. You're like thinking like if this was a technical
Yes.
wrestler list.
No, I'm taking that. I'm saying it because I'm saying the bright side of him first. My thing is with feuds. I know Brett has talked about he didn't like the acting drama filled of wrestling sometimes. And I think the longevity of Brett's career kind of hurts him.
It does. Because well, I got I got his career on it because he got kicked in the head by Goldberg. But,
yeah. And that's Gunther's first favorite wrestler. Shout out Gunther. His first favorite wrestler is Bill Goldberg, and great shout.
Yeah, it's a good take. I think that that was in WCW.
Yeah,
What year was that?
99, 2000. That area. I think he wrestled his last match in 2000.
And that was in like the last couple years span of his career was not.
Yeah, and he was in WWE like 83, 84. So you got to think like he probably had a legit run of like a guy probably from like 86, 87 to 98. So like 12 years. And like you got to think of like memorable stuff. Like his 92 to like 96, 97 technically with Survivor Series and all that. I mean, was unreal. But again, that's 5 years.
I just don't.
The guys on this list, like, I mean, we talked with Cena. Cena had 8 years at the top.
I don't like as far as like I struggle.
He's the weird one where I also say he's kind of in that Triple H boat to me, where he's like 8 through 11. He floats in and out as I think about stuff.
I mean, Bret Hart over Cena is not.
It's not.
It's not acceptable.
No.
And Bret Hart over Ric Flair is not acceptable.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Bret. Who else is on this? Bret Hart over Ric Flair is not acceptable. Bret versus John over John's not acceptable. Bret over Triple H really isn't acceptable.
So the 4 names that I think are going to be on this list after this,
Bret over Hulk Hogan by 5 slots.
5 slots is crazy.
Hulk at 10, Bret at 5.
Okay. So this is where we're also jumping in now with these 4. I'm very curious to see where these last 4 lie.
Number 4, The Rock.
So, okay, this is the guy that I have a problem.
I'm not that upset.
I have a problem. Can I tell you why I have a problem with him in my top 5?
Yeah.
No one looks at the longevity of Rock's career.
Oh, I do. It's my biggest pet peeve of him.
He was so great. But realistically, you think about it, 96 he came in. He wasn't a heel-ish till mid-97. He didn't really get big till end of 97, 98. So he basically had 98, 99, 2000. He was on and off in 2001 with acting, but he was still up there. 2002 was when he was really acting. In 2003, he was acting. And he has great spots in there. But it's like, that's 5 years, 6 years.
What year was WrestleMania 17?
2001.
And WrestleMania, he wrestled Hulk, or he wrestled
So Hogan Rock was 02. 03 was Stone Cold versus the Rock.
And then he wrestled in the fucking. Did you know he was on WrestleMania 20?
Yeah, with Mick Foley and
the Rock and Sock connection.
Yeah, but if you look at the build for that, he only came back like 3 times.
Yeah, and then
from there, he didn't wrestle till 2011.
I think like he had some really great moments on like the peak era of WWE. Well, right now we're in the peak area of WWE.
He's revolutionary, but the problem that I have is that longevity. Because I know he could have done it. Like I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. He just didn't.
He just wasn't here.
Yeah. So and that's like, again, it's not he is literally like, and I'm telling you this, I'm not saying, oh, he's not top 10, whatever. He's in my top 10.
Yeah.
He's just the thing is I just have a hard time putting him over guys that did it for 20 years.
Like Rock over Cena is crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
I keep bringing back Cena, but it's just because he's a lot lower on this list than he should be.
And to be honest, the 3 that I think are going to be on here after this are they got to be in your top 5. I think you're stupid if they're not.
Let's go to top 3. Shawn Michaels.
I don't mind this.
I don't mind this either.
I think everyone knows greatest in-ring talent of all time. Yeah. Guy could wrestle a broomstick.
Yeah, he's by far the greatest technical.
Yeah, and people, and again, it's the same knock that I have with a lot of people. I always look at Shawn's career as 2 sides.
So I look at it as pre-injury.
Yeah, you have 1988 to what, when he retired technically in like 97, 98. I think the WrestleMania with Stone Cold and Mike Tyson.
That was WrestleMania 14, so that would have been.
I'm trying to think of what it would be. 97, 98, either one of those years.
Yeah.
I think it's 90. It's 98. I think.
And then he left, and he came back
in 2002. With Triple H,
SummerSlam,
and you got to think like the matches he had. I mean, to name three off the top of my head, I always say these, both of them with The Undertaker and the one with Ric Flair.
Yeah,
I mean, I could name a million more, but those three, that three Mania run,
yeah,
unreal. And that's when he was hurt at the tail end. I mean, and then you got to think like the matches he had with Brett. I mean, the matches he had
Kurt
with
Angle, Stone Cold, or not
Kurt Angle, and Taker.
Yeah,
like the Hell in the Cell. Like,
every match,
come on,
every match
and that
Triple H.
And we haven't even said that like OG Shawn Michaels with his charisma.
Yeah,
dude, come on.
If you're looking at this as like pure wrestler, Shawn Michaels is number one.
Yeah, if you're looking pure wrestler, he's number one. And it's the thing is we've talked about this, and we'll before we say anything about this, we're gonna come out with lists on top 10 in full, top 10 wrestlers, like wrestling ability and stuff like that. But he's one. Spoiler, he's one.
You can't. Nobody will ever be able to tell me that Rick is better, that Brett's better, that
even the guys that like we've talked about have had phases, like Kenny Omega's New Japan phase.
I was just
like
that.
It's just Shawn. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's like there wasn't a point in his career where he was bad. Even when he was on drugs and had a broken fucking back, he was still
goes out there and he was
still the best wrestler on the planet. Number 2.
I love Taker. I mean, I like the more and more I talk about Undertaker, if you don't have him in a top 5, you are stupid. Don't say.
No, yeah, I think of like out of like people who've done more for WWE. It's John Cena and The Undertaker.
I'm not even thinking about that. Okay? This is how I think about it. Who has played a character better than The Undertaker?
He is the greatest. I don't know like what word I'm looking for.
He's the best like kayfabe. Like
best character, best gimmick.
I mean, the fact that this guy made this work
for 25 fucking years.
And not only that, he kept everything secret. In a plug too. I know they're bigger than us, but it's a plug. His podcast has been some of my favorite listens in the past year.
Oh, they're great.
They're the best thing. I love them every time they come out. I can't say this enough, and I think maybe I love them even more after these podcasts have dropped. I love Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
The guy not only had his run in the 90s, then switched to the American Badass. I don't care what people say. I fucked with the American Badass. Then goes back to the original Undertaker and has bangers.
I mean,
both of them with Shawn, both the ones with fucking Triple H, some of them with Kurt Angle. I mean, yeah. I know we're naming wrestlers that can wrestle, but he can wrestle too.
Yeah. I think like it's almost because like I literally keep bringing up John Cena, but a lot of the reasons why I put John Cena up there is for a lot of the reasons that Undertaker, like, fantastic company person.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was the backstage leader.
Literally ate shit all the time to wrestle. Was hurt all the time and still decided to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Had banger matches.
Put over talent whenever he needed to.
Fantastic career. Probably the greatest career ever.
And not only that, the greatest streak.
That never should have ended.
And also on top of that, I know people are gonna, say some shit. The greatest streak in sports. I know it's predetermined, but the fact that he made people care about a fucking wrestling match and how people were fucking kicked. I mean, come on.
Was it he was 21 and 20? It was 21 before he lost it, right?
21-0, yeah.
What was
Banger was underrated banger with CM Punk.
Can't even forget to. I forgot to mention. Yeah. I mean, dude, he had fucking. What was it? I don't even. It was. He
had a stretch. So think about it. Before Brock, he had
Punk was 29.
CM Punk, both Triple H's, both Shawn's. Then the year before, it was what that would have been 08. That would have been Edge. Then Batista, which is actually a decent match that everyone doesn't talk about. 06 was where it wasn't good. It was Mark Henry. I got a lot left in the tank. One of the best segments of all time too.
To be fair, in his streak catalog, there is a good handful of stinkers in there, to be fair.
Yeah. I think it's just because he was booked with guys that like Vince trusted him with to push over. What?
Can't wrestle?
Yeah.
Remember that fucking like back then when those rumors were coming around that it was gonna be Braun versus Undertaker? You know how horrible that would have been? How I can't believe that was actually considered.
I will say this before we go into that. I also, after hearing the talk about Roman and Undertaker after that match, that talk that they had in his like documentary made me so sad. Because you could tell like Roman wanted it to be great. Taker wanted it to be great. He just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Just hard. But I
remember that one. That one pissed me and you off a lot.
Oh, it pissed me off before we knew everything.
Yeah.
Like before we were so entrenched in shit that we just like we knew a lot about wrestling. But I think like the more we've gotten older, the more we've just understood things.
Yeah, but I think you and I watched it and knew that he was still hurt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you and I fucking hated how Roman was being kind of shoved down our throats.
Yeah. And then now I love Roman.
Yeah, because they finally did with Roman what we wanted them to do with Roman back then.
Okay, now this is a guy at number 1.
I don't mind Stone Cold at number 1.
Has to be 1 or 2 to me.
It doesn't bother me at all.
No, it's either, to me, it's Cena or Stone Cold. Biggest draw. And again, this is the thing is a lot of people are you can quote me and say, well, Steve Austin had probably close to the same years as fucking The Rock. Okay? I want to let you know, I know he went longer. He was in WCW, whatever. But like the relevant shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Him, the amount of shit that he did, I mean, people still say, what? All day.
Give me a hell yeah.
Everyone fucking loves that shit. And on top of that, the dude single-handedly created just chaos in the Attitude Era. That he changed the tide.
Yeah, he's stuck, and we only have a minute 15 left. I don't mind Stone Cold at 1 at all.
No, and again, we'll go over our lists.
I think
our stuff.
Me, it's Cena.
The Cena one's a stinker.
Huh?
I said the Cena one's a stinker. Putting him at 6.
Oh yeah.
Or 7, I mean.
But before we wrap this up, because we only have about 55 seconds, just wanted to throw this out there. This list is terrible. No offense. And by the way, no Brock Lesnar on this entire thing.
Yeah, there's a few guys that should not be.
Maybe Brock is shitting on people's chests. I don't know what Brock's doing. But
I'm just saying, there's 20. I want to let you know if you're putting Cody Rhodes in top 25 of all time.
and not Brock Lesnar.
Cody has done a lot for the business, but he's not yet the top 25.
Yeah, let's pull back to reality a little bit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. We're about to get kicked off. Are we coming back on here?
Sure.
All right, I'll invite you again, dickhead.